Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new season of Full Court Cleveland presented by Fan Duel. Here we are, Mr. Booby Gibson, Retro Booby Gibson, Sam Amico, and yours truly, Rafa Hernandez Brito, and we are just happy to be back with you. Thank you for tuning in. It's a new season, new beginning, but before we get going with the material, Booby, how was your summer? How you been doing? And you've been busy.
Yeah.
What's up?
It's been a long summer. It be the longest months, though, when it's no basketball. I don't know what to do, but I did pick up a ton of basketball. I was able to help the kids. I got my girls' teams going out here. We were able to play in some AAU tournaments, and that's what my summer was. It was about giving back to the youth, working with my son, and just getting some time to relax. That's all.
Sam Amico, out of all of us here on the table, including always producing Ryan, you're the only one that really don't take any time off because basketball continues to happen with the draft, with the summer league, and all that. Yeah. How are you doing? How's your family? How was your summer?
It was really good. You're right. You know, August and September, I mean, I love football, but I feel like, okay, let's get this thing rolling again.
Especially in Cleveland.
Yeah, right. Especially in Cleveland when it comes to football. But yeah, no, things were good. I kept the website rolling, which is miraculous enough. And yeah, didn't do a whole lot. I tried to get into shape. It didn't really work. And
you look great. You look great, my man.
So how was your summer, Ralph? You actually went somewhere.
Yeah, my summer was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
we finally
are
fulfilled a dream.
Officially insane.
And my brother's nephew, wife, and my brother's business partner went to Mount Everest and hiked for like almost 12, 14 days, went through avalanches, monsoons, and everything else. And even though more than a couple of times a day, I found myself thinking, like, what exactly am I doing here? Like, do I have to walk for 10 hours? But it was the most incredibly amazing, punishing experience. But more than anything else, it was a lesson in cultural behavior out there in Nepal, where people live in peace with the most basic things, and they get a kick out of saying thank you, namaste for everything. And, one of the biggest things, it's actually illegal to use the horn on your car.
Really?
Because it invades the space of your neighbor.
That's good. That's a good thing because
I get out of the airport. I didn't hear a horn for a whole 2 weeks. I get out of the airport at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York, and
I never understood road rage, man. What does it get done for? You just let it out. It's just your moment to just let that frustration out.
But it was actually amazing. We were kept from going to base camp, for Everest Base Camp, which was the original goal, because of the avalanches. So we went a little higher to Kalapatha, almost 20,000, almost 19,500 feet.
So how's I always wondered about the footing. Like, as you going up, I know you have your thing.
We got the pole. We're walking in the snow.
Is there any fear you working through on this thing?
Frozen. Nothing that we brought worked for the weather. And it was cold, and then when you go sunny, it was windy, it was beautiful. The Himalayas are like the most majestic thing I ever seen in my life. And now we're back for basketball.
Yeah.
And right?
Whoever thought Cleveland weather would look good.
Yeah, now I'm never complaining about the weather in Cleveland.
It's been nice.
Because I slept with no heat over there, and trust me, there's nothing stopping me now. But we got a full deck here planned before our producer Ryan starts giving me the looks. Today we're gonna break down some of the Cavs headlines that are brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. We're gonna preview opening night against the Knicks in the Mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. Do our weekly Power Rank presented by our friends at Garage Beer, and we'll take a look at some of the top stories around the association. But first, let's catch up with some of the Cavs moves in this offseason. Some new faces, Lonzo Ball, Larry Nance Jr., who is nothing new about Cleveland. We're just happy to have him back. And the gentle giant, Thomas Bryant. What do you like about all those three names that I just gave you?
I just love the idea of adding some veteran leadership to this group, guys that have been through it. And also, all three of those guys have a chip on their shoulder, that same chip that these guys have. Mm-hmm. They want to get to that next level, and they want to win. And those three guys, I think now understand that it's bigger than individual basketball. They all come over here ready to just fill in and be a part of the team. And I think when you have seamless characters like that, as we've kind of seen in the preseason, I think they'll just come and add to this core that we already have and just continue to build on that mentality.
Lonzo Ball is a guy that we hope is going to stay healthy, but he has shown during the preseason, Sam, that he can actually shoot the ball, that he can actually give the Cavs size in that position and strength and grit. You know, Thomas Bryant was with the Pacers last year, so he has experience and he has also a bad taste in his mouth. And Larry Nance Jr., there's not one single soul in Cleveland that is not happy to have him back.
Yeah, well, with Lonzo Ball, you know, he gives you that size at point guard. He's so unbelievably steady. The thing I like about him is he forces nothing. You know, we saw that in the last preseason game where he had 9 assists in like 20 minutes. He doesn't look for his own shot. He's always looking to set other people up. And he's a fantastic defender. You know, if you stay on the court, you're talking about one of the best backcourt defenders in the NBA. So, you know, that was a big thing. And Kobe Altman said this after last season, we need to get tougher. All 3 of these guys bring that. You know, Thomas Bryant, that brings a lot of energy, can alter shots. They really, I think, improved defensively. Larry Nance Jr., the same thing. He's extended his game offensively to where he can hit threes now. So, as Boobie said, you're really talking about guys who come in with a chip on their shoulder and play that physical, tougher style of basketball that the Cavs were looking for.
We added also Tyrese Proctor. I think it's something that you know, coming out of a program like Duke, Boobie, you love college basketball.
Yes,
and I'm not going to say you love Duke, but you love college basketball.
I do.
This is a guy that even Donovan Mitchell has recognized as a piece that could be very important for the Cavaliers as they get going in this new season.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about Darius missing some time, and then I think about Tyrese. I was able to watch him coming into Duke, and he was a projected lottery pick then. And so he stayed in school to get stronger, to understand the game a little bit more. And now, like, you hear Donovan say that because I feel like when you see him, he looks ready to play. And I hear Coach say he'll challenge guys for minutes. And so that's a great thing when you have a loaded roster in that way and guys are pushing each other to get better. And the biggest thing I've heard about him is he's a sponge. They say he's the first one to get into the gym and the last one to leave. And he's right next to Donovan trying to soak up as much game as possible. And when you come in with that mentality already around like a winning group, it's just great to see, and I'm excited for what he's going to do this year.
Well, we lost a little time talking about Boobie's summer. You know, he always goes off script. 20 seconds, Sam Amico. Loss of Ty Jerome and of the trade of Isaac Okoro. Do we have enough to supplement those losses?
I would think so. You know, again, with these 3 new guys, because that they are veteran guys and have been in situations where, you know, big game situations, I would think that they've covered those losses. Nice, you know, great players for the Cavs last season and Isaac Okoro through the years. But I like the 3 new guys.
Cavaliers season starts next week. Full Court Cleveland presented by FanDuel is already underway, and we'll be back after these messages.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Cleveland, Full Court Cleveland, presented by FanDuel. I already forgot the name of the show.
Yeah, we'll get there. It's a marathon.
It doesn't matter, right? Cleveland is Full Court. It's presented by FanDuel.
It's the preseason.
Hey, I got all the names inside. You put them together. We're going to talk about a little bit of Cavs headlines that are presented by Smart Choice Windows. Right now at Smart Choice Windows, you can get 50% off of all windows during their limited time promotion. Plus, you can take advantage of their special financing with no money down and no interest until 2027. Looking to upgrade your whole exterior? Smart Choice Windows is also offering $1,500 off any siding for your entire home and $500 off entry door installation to boost your curve appeal. Ooh, that's for Boobie. And remember that every project starts with a free, no-pressure estimate. So give them a call, 844-GET-SMART, or visit smartchoicewindows.com and make sure to ask about the Big Play bonus to get an additional 10% of all promotions. First, Cavs headlines. Boobie Gibson is not just the OG, now he's retro Boobie Gibson. Because the Cavs announced the other day that they are bringing back their navy, wine, and gold throwback uniforms. What's going on, Boobie? That this makes you feel a little bit on this side of the of the spectrum now that you are a retro dude?
Easy. They trying to call me Uncle. I prefer OG.
Okay.
We can take OG, but yeah, these jerseys are OG status, and I just love that they coming back, right? They bring so much tradition, and I think about the time when we had these on and the way we played. Like how tough we were on the floor, like we represented that Cleveland culture to a T, and I just think like that's why the fans, the jerseys flying off the shelves right now. I feel like when I talk to the people that brought me in, they said they've been craving these jerseys for years. They've been calling on them to come back, and so I think my jersey sold out right away.
The navy blue is kind of cool. I think when I came here in 2014, we had that navy blue also. It's kind of like a version of the uniform. And we talked about, obviously, that's your favorite one. Your favorite one, you were talking about the Austin Carr.
Campy Russell
thing. I like the orange, the full orange.
Those was
with
nice.
the Cavs logo.
Yes.
Is that the blue and orange, or because they had a black and that's the body sword Terrell Brandon.
I like the World Be Free full orange with white Cavs logo.
I think we did. I played in those.
We used those recently.
We played those for a game.
They're really cool. I mean, it's like. For some reason, there are some uniforms that come back. I remember talking to Brad Doherty and Larry Nance about how much the players didn't like that black and sky blue uniform. And when it came back, the fact that it's retro, everybody loves it. But that uniform, everybody's going to remember. Not only the uniform, Sam, but you were here for that generation of Cavalier basketball.
Oh, yeah. That was when I first started covering the Cavs, actually. Boobie's rookie season was my first year.
We came in together.
Yeah. Right. So the Cavs wouldn't be the same without the two of us.
There we go. Talk to
it's
him.
funny because last year I was talking to one of the other NBA writers, and I said that they needed to bring those back because it was getting to the point where, we've moved far enough along that we should bring those back, and the fact that they're bringing them back. It's hard to believe that's considered retro.
It's really cool because
in
modern.
My bad. It still hurts a little bit when you say we moved so far away. What has it been, like 19 years now? Almost 20 years. Almost 20 years.
But
jeez.
That generation of basketball what Bowie was a part of is going to be a big part of the celebration this year because we're not only going to have City Edition nights, we're also having Classic Edition nights with that uniform, with Anderson Varejão having his bobblehead night, and with the uniform being on display. And I think it's going to look really – those uniforms are cool. But it looks really cool when they go along with the court and the whole building is dressed up as the retro.
I'm looking forward to it. I get goosebumps just thinking about it because then it would take me back to those moments. I might run to the corner and just wait for a pass. You know what I mean?
You know what they should do? They should let you jump into the court with the team that night just to see if anybody notices. Oh my God, it's moving.
Oh, they gonna know. I throw the headband on. They gonna notice. But what I would love to do this year is they have the sword pool we've been talking about before the game to get the guys going. I feel like that tradition. I would love to be the guy before the game to pull out the sword and hype everybody up.
You should organize like a media day outing, that we can play,
I saw the Celtics
basketball.
are doing that.
The Celtics got killed. The media got killed by their coaches.
They had the media against the coaches.
Yeah, they wouldn't want that smoke with us, though.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, right.
Like, you got Sam Amico playing point guard.
Yes.
I could take action.
We'll be shooting. I'll be slapping everything away, protecting the rim.
You sent me a good screen. We good. You got a good screen for me. We good.
All right, let's talk some Cavs predictions and season predictions for this year because after the season that the Cavs had, which was a dream season, and obviously nobody was dreaming about the ending of the season, but that's what happens in professional basketball. A lot of people I've heard say, oh, my God, the regular season is not important. You take on that, Boobie, and how important is this regular season for the Cavs going into what they have to accomplish or they want to accomplish come the postseason?
If you was going to eat a hamburger, I don't think you would say the process of cooking the burger wasn't important, right? You wouldn't just put the meat on the bun and eat. You might be in some trouble, right? And so I think we need to understand, and if we're going to be real Cavs fans and be a part of this, we got to enjoy the process, right? And these guys have been continuing to get better and show improvement every year. And the regular season is where you work out those kinks and prepare yourself for that postseason. You work on your lineups. You figure out which guys you can depend on. You actually have to go through the trenches, have some. If I would say anything, I wouldn't want to start 15-0. You know, I would want to start the season. Well, not start the season. I want to go through the ups, the downs, the struggles, the successes, the highs and the lows, and continue to build that character. But at the same time, if we go 15-0, I do want us to understand that we have a team capable of doing so, but we're still building towards that process of finishing where we want to be. And I think adding the pieces, like you said before, was perfect pieces that say we're trying to do just
and
that.
at the end of the day, 15-0 doesn't mean anything if the team is not learning. It's not
Right.
Because you can win games, but if you're not really getting better, and I think that's the most important part, Sam, for Kenny Atkinson. Not only last year he was new for everybody. Now he has three pieces that are going to be a very important piece of the puzzle.
Yes, sir.
Right? Going forward, especially because the way he uses the bench and the way he wants to keep everybody fresh. Yeah. So FanDuel, our presenter, has the Cavs line set at 57.5 games. That's like a good 6.5 games below the win margin last year. So taking the over or the under on that?
I'll take the over. Probably not by much. I mean, you're talking about you're starting without Darius Garland, obviously with his toe surgery. No Max Strus, maybe until around February-ish, around there.
Last year's deal too with Max, right?
Right. Yeah, because if you remember, he missed that 15-0 streak. I remember when he came back, he said, "Well, they seem to be doing all right without me." So, but so I think that last year the focus wasn't on the regular season; they just played incredibly well.
Right.
But what I always say, and actually a general manager, I don't even remember who it was, told me this years ago. So the next best thing to get into the finals is a regular season full of fun, because that's your biggest chunk of the NBA season, right? You're playing 82 games, and I think the Cavs gave that last season. They're positioned to do that again, but I think that with good health, the fact that Garland's out at the start and Strus is out is going to benefit guys like DeAndre Hunter, who's probably going to get more minutes because of that. And certainly Lonzo, and even guys like Jalen Tyson and Craig Porter Jr., your young guys are going to be set up to be able to perform and play, in a crunch or in a pinch in the playoffs when it really matters. So I agree with Boobie. I think that, enjoy this process because it's all geared towards what they really believe. I saw Larry Nance Jr. at the Akron, Wyoming football game, and he said, "Look, we think we can win it all." And there's a lot of people who agree with that. So, the process of getting there is probably going to be a little different than last regular season, but I foresee them winning still 58-60.
A lot of things can come into play, Booby. The East it's really, you need a magic ball, a crystal ball to figure out what the hell is going to happen other than the Knicks and the Cavs, because we don't know what's happening in Milwaukee. Nobody in Philadelphia knows what's happening in Philadelphia.
Right.
The Celtics did I don't even want to call it retooling, but I don't know what they did over there. Yeah. There's some new faces, Porzingis in Atlanta, and all that. Championship or bust? I know that's the attitude for all professional players take beginning the season, but what's your take on what the Cavs should be looking at for this coming season?
I mean, with the team that we have, it's just getting better day by day, right? At the end of the day, you want to say championship or bust, but for us, it's taking it one game, 1 month, one season at a time. And right now, our goal is this first part of the season, getting off to a great start. And I think we'll have an opportunity to test some of these lineups, to your point, right? We get the jumbo lineup. I like the lineup of Ev, J.A., and they say they're going with DeAndre now. And then you got Zoe, who's 6'6", and now you got 6'10" arms from Donovan. Where do you go on that floor, right? So I think we'll have an opportunity now to test some things out and continue to build. So I'm not one of those guys that go championship or bust, even if you're a team like OKC, right? You still got to come in every day and get better and try to build the right habits.
And the hardest thing to do is to win it again.
Yeah.
And to win it the first time is even hard.
But you said something about fun, right? When I look at that OKC team, what they built all year was fun. The way they were after the game, throwing the towel on the reporter, they built fun and togetherness, and that's what you build in a regular season, that camaraderie.
Well, this segment was brought to you by Smart Choice Bath, also, which is the perfect time to remodel your bathroom, San Amico. Right now, Smart Choice Bath is giving you $1,250 off, $1,250 off your bathroom project, plus a free luxury upgrade to add comfort and style. And just for Big Play listeners and viewers, you'll save an additional 10% on your project. So don't wait. Visit then at smartchoicebath.com or give them a call at 844-GET-SMART to schedule your free consultation today. Smart Choice Bath, where luxury meets affordability. We'll be right back with more of Full Court Cleveland presented by FanDuel.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Lake Spur Marketing, connecting your brand to the right customers. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today.
Welcome back, everybody. Full Court Cleveland presented by FanDuel. Retro Booby, Sam Amico, and yours truly, Rafa Fernandez Brito, always produced by Mr. Ryan Smith.
Hey, Rob, you're not going to keep getting these jabs off when you giving your promo. You see him sneak these slick shots in here doing your promo. I'm catching these, my guy.
You say luxury bath when you invite Booby to your house, to your home.
You caught that thing right too. Yeah. OG Booby, we just getting started, man. This how we doing? Day one. This how we feel.
Hey,
welcome back.
Hey, this is all fun. This is what we want the Cavs to do. Just get off the gate and have fun. Upcoming matchups.
Yeah, what we got?
Wednesday, the Knicks host the Cavs, and you can tell the situation in the East when the Knicks host the Cavs for opening night, for Christmas night. And we have here, I think, is OKC for Martin Luther King Day. But Wednesday, the Cavs visit the Knicks and Madison Square Garden. How much, speaking about just the regular season, it's not just another game, Sam, because at the end of the day, this game could be and mean so much at the end of the season in terms of tiebreakers, in terms of what's going on for playing at home. So what's your take on how much weight you put onto this game one?
Well, I personally don't put a whole lot into it. I think that we always remember opening day. I can tell you, like, the last 5 or 6 opening days what the Cavs did. I couldn't tell you what they did in game 40, 41, 42, 43. So there is something to opening night. And as a player and the coaches, I'm sure, and as an organization, you're aware of the narrative. And there's so much placed on these, the Cavs won or lost opening night. This is what's going to mean for the season. The narrative is nonstop because of all the talk shows and just the fans and the social media. And it's New York. So, what you want to do is you want to give a good performance, right? And you want to be able to build on that. I always say if you lose opening day, that's okay because you look at it and you're like, we have 81 more of these things go, right?
You don't have to worry about going undefeated,
right? Yeah, so that's probably not going to happen anyway. So. I think it's fun. It's great that they get to open in Madison Square Garden. You just hope for a good showing.
It's a rivalry that is starting to brew, and I think that's what the league wants. When the Knicks are good, it's good for basketball. It's good. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you're a fan or not of the Knicks. But when the Knicks are good, it's good for the NBA. Yeah. That's being said, Knicks Cavs is becoming a rivalry. You know a little bit about Mike Brown, Booby. What does he bring to the Knicks that Tom Thibodeau didn't, not including playing the players 50 minutes a game. But
Well, it's always the game within the game, right? You always want to find that extra edge within the game. And I just think about, first of all, shout out to Mike Brown. You know, I feel like he got a raw deal out there in Sacramento, and he never changes. He continues to work and do the job, and I just love that he continues to get opportunities. And what he brings, I remember when we were together, it was defensive detail. But that I've heard over the years, he's relaxed a little bit and become, he's been able to communicate with the players a little better, because that was what the struggle was when he first came down. So I think that now at this stage of his career, I think it's awesome that he has the platform of the Knicks and just an opportunity to prove all his doubters and naysayers wrong. I'm a big Mike Brown fan, although I think they're going down to the Cavs, because I also feel like it's an opportunity for us to make a statement too, coming off of a summer where you want to let the league know, like, okay, y'all say the East is down or whatever, but we here. Y'all gonna have to see us. And so those are the games within the game that I feel like the players will take pride in. And being in the Garden, it's just one of the best places to play. It's showcase, baby.
it's funny how Sacramento has their head coach and their assistant coach, coaching in New York now with Jordi Fernandez heading the Nets. But is this a preview of the ECF? You would say, Sam, is it fair to say that Knicks Cavs could be a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals?
I certainly think so. I think those are your two favorites going into the season. The Cavs number one, the Knicks number two. Yeah, I mean, obviously you have teams like Orlando, which
finally got a point guard.
Yeah, added some shooting and Desmond Bane and has that size. But these are the two teams that everybody is expecting to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, that doesn't mean a whole lot, because last year, all season, we were saying the Celtics and the Cavs. And then here, sure enough, you have the Pacers and the Knicks playing in the Eastern Conference
Everybody
Finals.
had that.
Right, yeah.
Everybody.
So I don't think anybody knew that a week before they played. So, absolutely, these are the two teams that are going to be, we want to make a statement against the other one because of this narrative and these predictions that, these are going to be the two teams. And I'm with Boobie. I think Mike Brown has really evolved as a coach from a guy who was defense. His word was, I love to muck up the game, and he did. His teams did. I mean, it was a slow, methodical, scrappy style of play.
I was looking at my bad. It was last night. I was watching Game 6 at my event. The score was 67-73.
Yeah, that was a Mike Brown game. And then he went to Sacramento, and all of a sudden the floodgates open, and they're leading the league in offensive efficiency and everything. So I think Boobie's obviously would know better than me, but the talk is that he has kind of developed as a guy who's going to be able to communicate with the players a little bit better. So I do. I think the Knicks are right there with the Cavs, but big deal.
There are a lot of things we don't know about this upcoming season, and there's one thing that we'll find out, because still we don't know, is whether Sam Amico is still bringing his six-pack for the power rank, the 3, or is it 3-ish or a 6-pack? We'll find out what kind of mood Boobie is in when we come back on Full Court Cleveland.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland, presented by FanDuel. OG Gibson, Sam Amico, and yours truly, still young, Rafa Hernandez Brito. And Power Rank is brought to you by our good friends at Garage Beer. I had a few when I came down from Everest. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager and lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell Garage Beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com. And we are going to Power Rank for the first time this season on Full Court Cleveland, presented by FanDuel, the Cavs' biggest competition for a title this upcoming season. OG.
I mean, I'm only team I'm looking at is OKC. I don't really look at the East. I feel like we're in control of our own destiny there. If we can figure out what we need to do, I'm curious to see if OKC gets that championship bug. If they get better, or if they get relaxed and feel like, they're good enough to turn it on when it's time.
Yeah. And I wonder also how much of that was lightning in a bottle.
There you
because
go.
it's really rare to see a team go all the way on their first crack.
I'm still in shock that these guys were so young and able to make a couple game 7s to get to this final. I'm still in shock that they was able to do it.
But you gotta give it credit. The MVP, SGA, finally deserved it, and there was no way they could take it away. But for you, Sam, Booby left you 2, so now
Booby
you have
picked
like 5.
1, so I can get
you have
5,
like 5
right?
at least.
Because we get a 6-pack, right? So that's probably how it'd go if Booby and I ever had a 6-pack.
When I think of all the other teams, there's just I don't see any other team that's like together. Everybody is kind of like putting pieces together and trying to figure out.
Or a lot of what if, or a lot of
everybody. Everybody's kind of rearranging their whole lineup, and I feel like the Cavs kind of stayed pat, and OKC pretty much 2 teams.
Yeah, and I think that's what's great about the NBA this last decade. You have, it seems like it. Other than the exception of like the Wizards and Hornets and some of those teams, it seems like everybody can go in the season saying, we've got a shot. The Pacers and the Thunder played in the finals last year. Nobody had the Pacers. I mean, they were 11-15 at one point. So I think with the Cavs, if I look at, other teams that you've got to consider, obviously the Thunder, we just talked about the Knicks. I wonder... Although they lost their point guard, I wonder about the Rockets a little bit because of Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And he's going to be able to help them overcome a lot. They're a good defensive team.
And again, the what if is still to see how that veteran is going to work with these running up and down guys.
Yeah,
well, see, the one thing about I think Kevin is he's a plug and play guy. He's one guy that you could drop him, you could anywhere, and he can kind of like with the Warriors, or you could drop him in and he can take over the team, or he can fill in. I think Kevin's the one guy that could do it.
Yeah, that's true. And
the plug and play doesn't come with winning, by the way, because
it doesn't.
After the Warriors,
See,
well,
I didn't say that.
Yeah, and you look at the Warriors. What are they going to be? Obviously, the oldest starting lineup probably in league history once they tip off the season, adding Al Horford to Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, obviously Steph Curry. Yeah. What are they going to do? And Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart going to the Lakers. I mean, these teams have added some older guys, but that tends to help you in the playoffs. And one team I would not rule out, I guess I'm on like number 10 now, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Because you're talking about a team that went to the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years and has a true blue superstar in Anthony Edwards. Seem well coached. I wouldn't rule them out as a contender.
I would throw in there Orlando, because Orlando is very well coached. They've been together for a while. They added some pieces that they needed badly, especially with Desmond Bain coming in. We'll see how an extra year of Paolo Banchero. So I think that's a team for the Cavs with the history they have that could mean something in the playoff. But at the end of the day, I think it's Knicks, Cavs in the East, and then in the West, we don't know how Dallas is going to.
I was going to say that would be my dark horse, depending on Kyrie, right? If Flag learns during the year, he gets all these opportunities, and then Kyrie comes back and is at least 80% of himself. That team.
And they have the size, and they have the thing. So hey. Keep tuned in, because we're going to be talking about what's coming up in the regular season when we come back on Full Court Cleveland, presented by FanDuel. Welcome back, everybody. Last time we used to have a car to go around the association, but Booby left it parked in a hydrant and he got towed. So now we're going on the Booby Mobile around the association with the season kicking off with so much we have talked about the NBA champions, Western Conference doubleheader on Tuesday, reigning champion Thunder hosting the Rockets and getting the rings, and also the Warriors playing against the Lakers. The second game, more just for TV ratings than anything else, I think, compared to the first game, where you're going to get to see what you were just bringing up about what the Thunder is going to have this year. And they're getting off right off the bat against a team that has a lot to prove in the Rockets.
Yeah, you think that was a little shot at KD that he want to have him in the building when they get their ring in OKC? The NBA know what they doing.
They know, yeah.
When they be scheduling this game. But just because of that, I'm putting 50 on the board if I'm Kevin Durant, and I'm spoiling their championship night. So I'm excited to see, Kevin Durant is my guy, and he'll be in Houston. And like you said, I think that Houston team was building last year, and they were playing with that Udoka mentality, that tough, hard-nosed mentality. So I think that team will be tough out west with Şengün, I think, stepping deeper into that Jokic role, you know what I mean? So I think those guys will be tough. And in that second game, you just can't ever look past Bron and Curry. You just never know what can happen. Well, Bron's not playing
out
to start the year, but those matchups right there, for some reason, every time.
But it's Luka's first full season.
Yeah, every time those two get together, something magical always happens.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of Bron, he's injured. Sciatic, I think he's back, right?
Yeah.
Is it his last season, you think?
It's hard to predict.
What is it, like season 102?
What's that?
What is his season, like 102?
102, I think, yeah. At least that's how long I feel like I've been covering the league. But, it's hard to predict. That sciatica is no joke. I've had that, and it shut me down for 6 weeks. And it's you just don't rebound like you used to, bounce back from stuff. But it's hard to tell. I think a lot of it depends on how the season plays out for him. If he's able to get back on the court and be productive like he was last year, not just productive, but, one of the top 15 guys in the league clearly still, I wouldn't see any reason why you don't keep playing. This is an interesting year, though, for him because it's obviously contract year. And then, next summer we're going to get to do it all again. And guess what?
Bryce
I love
is coming
it
out.
when LeBron does this and keeps us guessing because it's more clicks for my website.
And Bryce is coming out probably.
I'm like, keep doing it, LeBron. Play till you're 50.
Bryce coming out of Arizona. Maybe
Bryce,
the three of them playing.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I give it to you, Bobby. 4 teams: Detroit, Orlando, Atlanta, with all the changes, and San Antonio. Which one of those 4 do you think could be the surprise team? Is it Bickerstaff with the Pistons? Is it the Orlando Magic finally breaking in and breaking the glass? Atlanta with all the changes, I don't see how that could be a surprise. And San Antonio with Wemby and more new pieces.
I just think it might be Wemby's time. It might be time for those guys to get into the playoffs, for him to kind of stake his claim as one of the next superstars in this league. So I think we know it's coming at some point. So I don't think it will be a big surprise, but I think the Spurs did some things this summer. I like the young group they got. I think they take the next step and make
the biggest change they have is no Pop. And that's a whole change of the guard going on in San Antonio. So we'll see how that works out. The reigning MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, plays Tuesday. Who is going to be his biggest competition to repeat as MVP?
Ooh.
Well, obviously, you think about Nikola Jokic is always going to be in the running. Antetokounmpo is always going to be in the running. I'd like to think that Donovan Mitchell was first-team All-NBA last year. Should have an excellent shot, I would think, for consideration if the Cavs finish with the best record in the East again. Those are the 3 guys I really look at. So
let me throw one in there. I'm gonna throw one over the top. Since we get the extra, I'm gonna go Evan Mobley.
Yes, I've heard that. A lot of people are talking about that, Evan Mobley too.
And that's something we have seen a little bit in the preseason, but it's still a whole different game when it comes to the regular season. How many times we have said, at least I have said it many times, that the Cavs won't be that team until Mobley is the best player in the team. And that has to do with them feeding the beast inside. Yep. That has to do with the ball going through him. We saw it a lot last year, how he was rebounding and bringing the ball up. He was shooting the 3 better at a bigger clip. Yep. So I think those are all the little things. The only thing that he has against him is that he plays with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, right.
They might eat up votes between the two of them.
True.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
true.
what I liked about Kenny Atkinson, the first thing I noticed was he turned Evan Mobley into a 7-foot Draymond Green, which is, I want you to get the rebound, and instead of looking for a guard, bring it up yourself and run the offense. And if the shot is there, take it, which is what Draymond Green does. and has made a career out
Used
of.
to.
And yeah, well,
Now
when he
it's
was in his
Marable and
prime.
Brixton.
But you look at it in the sense that, okay, you're going to be like a point forward, right? And now you're one of the best two-way players in the NBA in the front court.
And that creates such a problem for the opponent, Pubi, because you have to decide whether you bring that big guy to guard him.
Yes.
Mobley can put it on the ground. He's been working on it. That's one of the things that he needed to work on. Or you can put a small guy and somebody has a mismatch
And
somewhere.
that's when you create those mismatches, when you catch the ball off the rebound and push in transition, because guys now have to get
You don't know where to
fine.
pick up.
You
Yeah, I
have
got
to-
ball, doesn't work at
Yeah,
that point.
no, sir. And that's why it's great for him. And if what I saw this summer, what made me say that, he was developing that shoulder bump where he hits you, but he's still taking 2 more steps after this bump. And for him, I saw Giannis take that step maybe his 3rd or 4th year when you get that bump, and now I'm still going. If that's the next step of evolution for Ev, watch NBA, watch out.
Watch out, everybody. The Cavs played the Knicks on Wednesday, and we come back for my favorite segment, Off the Court segment on Full Court Cleveland, presented by FanDuel.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing, and same hometown level of service. Visit fairwayfordohio.com today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland, presented by FanDuel. Here we are, opening the season with retro OG Pubi Shooty Gibson, Sam Amico, who's been working hard all through the summer and the offseason, and yours truly, Rafa Hernandez Brito, talking off the court, forget about basketball. Baseball fan, you're
It's
not.
hard
I know that
to
for a
do.
fact.
I actually went to the Guardians game when
Yeah,
the one they
didn't come
won.
say hello to me in the booth.
The one they won, I did not.
Oh, I
did
wasn't
not.
here. I wasn't here
Oh, you
for the
weren't
playoff. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
Yeah, the one they
Football.
won.
That's
for
why
you?
it fell apart.
I know. Football for you.
I'm a huge
baseball.
football fan. I like
Who
baseball.
do you got?
What do you want me to say?
LA, Milwaukee,
Oh.
Seattle, Toronto.
Well, I'm hopeful for Seattle. And I'll tell you, you want a really long story behind that? We got an hour?
Uh-huh.
You said, Ryan? My roommate at basketball camp years ago, obviously, I walk in, was Quinn Snyder, the Atlanta Hawks coach.
Is
Who
he as
played at
crazy
Duke.
as he is? As he look?
No, when I first walked in, I was like, I thought the guy was a dentist or something. I'm like, who is this guy? And then he asked me if I was being recruited, and I'm like, not, a little bit. And I'm like, how about you? And he said, I'm being recruited by Duke and Missouri. And I'm like, this guy's, come on, Duke and Missouri. And then we went down to the open gym, and I played point guard, and I gave him the ball on the wing, and he just went in. He couldn't shoot, but he could dunk like crazy in traffic.
Really?
And I was like, okay, maybe he is going to Missouri or Duke. But anyway, so then we formed a friendship, but he's a huge Seattle Mariners fan. So that's all I got.
And I can tell MLB right now is rooting for the Dodgers not to be eliminated because right now they don't have big markets left in the business. It's
No, if you have Toronto,
Seattle, and Toronto. So we'll see how that goes.
Small
NFL.
markets- small
Have you
markets
been watching El Lobito, Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
I mean,
Is
he's
he
just
related to Joe G, a beat writer for the Cavs?
fun. I don't know. I'll have to ask Joe G.
Yeah. That's why I call him El Lobito because Joe
Right.
G is El Lobo.
Yeah, right.
So he's El Lobito.
I don't know what any of that means, Booby.
Me
but it
neither.
sounds
That's
good.
English.
wolf.
English,
But
Rob,
I mean,
English.
they don't have receivers or that can get downfield.
They don't have
obviously
number
can
one receivers.
protect.
They
Right.
don't have top of the line.
No.
But they still throwing the ball 57 times.
Yeah, it's like dink and dunk, though. I mean, they're not getting down the field. They don't have enough time to throw. Gabriel, but I like what I've seen from him so far. It's just the season's just such a disappointment again that it's hard to it's hard to say. Okay, this is going really well. I will say this about the Browns: what an excellent job they did in the draft. I mean, with Gabriel.
And the running backs.
With Quinn,
you were saying
Quinshawn
yes. Oh, I thought you was
Judkins.
being
No,
funny.
the rookies. I really love the rookies, right? Quinshawn Judkins, and the linebacker and the defensive lineman.
commission, yeah.
So yeah, I really
UCLA.
like what they did in the draft, and the tight end from Bowling Green is fantastic.
Yeah, Fanning
but
Jr.
I look at this and I'm like, okay, so now we got to wait another 10 years before they're competitive again. So who knows? But to answer your question, yeah, Dylan Gabriel's just
Who will
fine.
be a guest at Football Cleveland first, Deion Sanders or LeVar Ball?
I hope LeVar. I like them both, but I hope LeVar.
I can't get Deion, but we got to wait for Shadur to get into the action so we can talk to him.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first
We got
episode.
Booby Gibson. We don't need anybody else.
That's the first episode of Full Court Cleveland. We'll be back next week, and we are rolling all the way out to June when the Cavs play for the championship. Ryan, the producer, Booby Gibson, the retro-wearing jersey, Amico, and yours truly, Rafa Hernandez Brito. See you next week on Full Court Cleveland, presented by FanDuel.